Good evening. Welcome to Honda BigWing Marathali in Bengaluru. We're joined here with Mr. Rushab, a prominent rider in the Indian motorcycling community and somebody who we worked with this year as a VFM group sponsorship for one of an exciting global and international road racing tour that he went on in terms of a championship. So we're joined by him. We're at our Honda BigWing Marathali facility. So Rushab, how's it going?
It's going good. Getting used to the Bangalore traffic after being in Europe for 3 months.
Spent 3 months in Europe.
Yeah.
Doing what?
Doing what? Racing bikes, racing on the streets. Super exciting, super fun. Totally new environment and was thrown in the deep end. So, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, for us also when you approached us about this project that you were working on, first thing you told me was, I want to get to Isle of Mann. So Isle of Mann, as most people know, is the foremost. Tell us a little bit of Isle of Mann. Let's start over there.
Where do I begin? So the Isle of Mann is the world's oldest motorcycle race in the world. So they say once the third production bike was built, the second production bike was raced.
Wonderful.
So that's just what the Isle of Mann is, because they didn't have speed limits at that time, and that was the only island where you could go out, test your bike to its limits, and that's how the circuit was formed. And through the unfortunate mishaps that happened through the Isle of Mann TT races, you have all your safety features and everything that comes along with the FIM to the current day. So
awesome. So basically, it's an island off the coast of the UK.
Yep.
And they ride motorcycles on legal roads.
Yep.
They shut it down, and it becomes a racetrack. So that's road racing.
That's road racing.
So road racing is that. So when you approached us and we discussed the project, it was a quick discussion. It wasn't
elaborate.
It doesn't take too much selling when it comes to racing with VFM, of course, and with me and you personally. So you told us you want to get to Isle of Mann, and then the road to Isle of Mann is competing in road racing series across the world.
Yep.
So that's a little about road racing. What entitles the road race versus circuit racing. Circuit racing like MotoGP, Moto3, Moto2. And then there's the world of off-road, which is a completely different world. So tell us a little bit about road racing versus circuit racing, some of the key highlights and differences, just so we get a good intro of what you've taken part in this year.
Sure. So as the name suggests, real road racing happens on real public roads. It's the purest form of motorsport, and there's zero margin for error.
Why is that?
It's because if you go out of line or you crash on someone's living room, so...
Okay, so we'll put up, I'm sure, in B-roll somewhere over here, a couple of highlights from what a road racing crash looks like. We hope that you stay safe out there, but it is probably the most dangerous form of racing at this point.
It's the most extreme sport in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you're riding on public roads that they make into a racetrack. And then is it point to point? Is it sprint race? Is it laps? How does that work?
So it's laps. It's like your circuit format. It's a mass start format, the one that I'm competing in. The Isle of Man is a time trial.
Okay.
But most of the road races are mass start events.
Okay, so when you say mass start, you mean basically you all start on the grid.
Yep.
And then you do a bunch of laps. How many laps generally?
So you have 30 riders on a road which is probably 10 meters wide.
Okay.
Through the city landscape and the hills.
Yeah.
And you have about 10 to 12 laps.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about the circuit championship that the series championship that you took part in Europe.
So I took part in a championship called the International Road Racing Championship. So this championship is open to any nationality, anyone from anywhere in the world. So it's not a region-specific national championship per se. It's an open event, so anybody can come and join. And since road racing is a niche, there aren't too many avenues for these championships. So IRRC is one particular avenue, and the other is racing in Northern Ireland. So these two races are through which you can get your qualification times and then apply for a race like the Isle of Man TT, because that's the pinnacle.
So this becomes like a stepping stone, kind of you got to do this.
It's a feeder service.
Yeah. Feeder service, right? Yeah, and then is it, so how many rounds, which cities, can you take us through that before we get into the technical stuff?
Oh, for sure. So we have, I think, 6 rounds in the championship. Goes through countries like Belgium, Netherlands, Finland, Czech Republic and Germany. And all of these are real road circuits. All of these tracks are, established in 1926, 1935, really, really old tracks, pre-war tracks. And has a lot of heritage, because the fun thing about these type of races is the fans.
Okay.
They are so crazy. The whole town knows about the event. They come out and watch you at the rider parade. they follow you through the course of the championship, and you know, me coming all the way from India was surprising for these guys, and I picked up a few fans, and I was quite surprised.
Yeah?
'Cause I was not the front runners.
Were you the only person from India?
Yes, I'm actually the first Indian to take part in the series, and
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, the only Indian in the paddock.
That's great. Well, we're very happy that you wore our VFM flag and
For sure.
along with the India flag and your other sponsors as well. It was wonderful to see. You were sending us photos, videos. We didn't put too much pressure on you. We didn't focus on the racing, stay safe, but you kept sharing stuff with us. So it was really nice for the whole team over here at Honda BigWing, all the technicians and the sales staff, and everyone was very invested in, when you send stuff to us, we were sharing to the team. And then your knee-down photographs with a house in the background, with the VFM logo over there. It was very popular amongst our team. So thank you for that. And thank you for, having the courage to go out there and do something like this. One of the things you told me early on when I said, why, Rushab, wwhy this? Like, there are many ways you can spend your time, money, and talent. And one of the things you mentioned to me was that there are certain ages in which you do, like, your age, you start at 8-year-olds to 16-year-olds are on this Moto 3, Moto 2 track. And if you kind of haven't got into GP yet by like 21, 22, if you're not already a top rider, then there's very few race series out there that cater to this. So technically speaking, in road racing, you generally see an older demographic of riders. Tell us a little bit about that, your co-riders, what their journeys have been kind of to get to this point, and a little bit about yourself as well.
So yes, generally it's a slightly older age group in road racing, but don't let that fool you, because that's honestly because of the experience needed to race on the road.
Yeah.
You can't be hot-headed and you can't rush into things. You need to really have your head on your shoulders and take things as they come, because racing in itself is dangerous.
Yep.
Road racing, in a split second, you can be non-existent. So it's good that you have a wise head on shoulders, which is why an older age group, also longevity-wise, I don't think you see a 40-year-old MotoGP rider, but John McGuinness is 50 odd years old and he's still racing.
Rocking it.
He's in the top 10. The official Honda rider at the Isle of Man TT in the top 10
at
50
age,
years old.
50 years. Yeah, so it is a place where you can have a long career. The Dunlop family is one of the big names in road racing, right? And a lot of historic teams, a lot of historic manufacturer wins at road racing. So road racing is its own, like you said, niche sport, but for those who follow it, it's a fever level following. Yeah. Right? Now, tell us a little bit about your competition, the guys, a little bit about the team first, and then we get to the competition.
Talking about manufacturers, actually, funny enough, Honda's racing legacy and journey began at the Isle of Man TT. I don't know if you know.
I might not have known that, yeah.
So they were making scooters, and the first real challenge was, cracking the TT course. And once they got success there is when the Honda racing project actually began.
That's awesome. And here we are sitting at Honda BigWing in Bangalore. And you got all these beautiful Honda photographs behind us and our Honda fan community, which is just awesome. That, the story of Honda is so big and so global that you were able to grow up in India and ride a Honda CBR600RR, right? So tell us a little bit about the bike.
It was honestly a no-brainer for me, because the CBR600RR is one of the best handling machines out there. And given the fact that all these courses are new to me, I wanted a machine that was easy to ride. So the 600 obviously was a choice up there. Yeah.
And where do you get the bike from?
So I bought the bike in Europe, and it was already kind of prepped for racing. So that way there was not a lot of work to be done. Yeah. But like any race bike, it's all under development. So now that we've raced the bike, we have a few things that we'd like to do next season, and hopefully it all goes.
So this was your rookie season, right? So you had to go through new country, new race format, new motorcycle. You don't know where to live, you don't know where to stay.
Knew everything.
So how was that? What were the most surprising aspects when you got there? There are things that you knew, and then you didn't know. What were some of the surprises that hit you?
The biggest surprise is the fact that we are so spoiled here, because back in the paddock in Europe, most of the riders work on their bikes themselves. They don't have technicians. Most of them change their own tires, do their own brakes, work on their own electronics. So that was the biggest eye-opener, because coming from India, I felt like I was slightly privileged, because I always have someone working on my bike here.
Yeah. Shout out to ISBK and the other race academies that we love going to the circuits here. But the guys keep us a little bit spoiled, in the paddock. So, so when you got there, you had a motorcycle that was race prepped. Now, did you have to do any work on the bike before your first race?
So we did have a test at a small circuit called Metit in Belgium.
Okay.
Moto2 riders like Barry Baltas have ridden there.
Okay.
And it's a short circuit, very technical, and it was a nice place to shake down the bike and just see what the bike's about.
So what are you looking for in a shakedown?
The main thing is just ergonomics firstly, mainly because I'm sitting on the bike. I'd like to be comfortable. And other than that, see how the bike performs. If there's the power throughout the rev range, suspension, try to dial it in according to my weight and my riding style. And just change bits and bobs that you feel that, make you more comfortable on the bike.
So comfort, ergonomics, just to get into the details a little bit, handlebar position, the clip-ons, where how much angle you want, how drop down they are, then your foot pegs, that kind of, so you're at that level of understanding the bike.
That level and a little bit more. So even things like your seat foam, the seat height.
Oh, wow, okay.
Things like that.
That's where racing and track days go different. Because all of us who enjoy track days, we're not thinking about foam thickness so much. But in the race environment where everything is millisecond and split decision, your comfort is very important.
Yeah.
That's actually from the dealership side. We talk about rider comfort a lot in performance environments. It's something that contributes to better lap times, longer distance in ADV riding, better performance off-road, is being comfortable. So at the race environment, it's dialed up to 100. So being comfortable on the bike, and you've already ridden the 600RR before that. So how was that platform for you? So what year was the bike?
So this is a slightly older version.
Okay.
So it has no electronics.
Okay.
It has no fancy
ABS?
gadgets. Nope.
Traction control?
Nope.
And what's the
Slide control? Nope.
No side control, no fancy buttons, nothing. Does it have the RPM gauge, or does it? Or you probably swap that out for the gauge cluster.
For the racing one.
Racing cluster, right? Yeah. And inline 4, screamer of an engine. First question, is it under-seat exhaust?
Yes.
Okay.
Has to be.
That equals race bike. Under-seat exhaust equals race bike. That's very cool. And then you went through the livery process with the logos and the colors. How did you choose your colors?
That was chosen by the team.
By the team? So tell us, so you were a rider on a team with 3 of you were there, right?
Yes.
As a rider. So tell us a little bit about the team, introduce them.
So the team that I was racing for is Hoffman by MRP. It's headed by the rider Laurent Hoffman. He's a Belgian rider, 2-time IRRC champion in the Super Sport, and this year he was vice champion in the Superbike.
Okay.
So very highly reputable athlete and a rider. He's also done the Northwest 200. He's done the Ulster GP. He's also raced Isle of Man TT.
So very prominent race team.
He's a legend.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hopefully we get to meet him and host him in Bangalore one day, right? Yeah. Bring your whole team down here. So you're part of the team. You take care of the bike. The bike is the 600RR, and now the bike gets shipped between different circuits around around Europe. What is the calendar? What was the calendar like this year? Like, is it weeks between races? Is it back to back? Do you have some time off? How does that work?
It's weeks between races. So every two odd weeks there's a race.
Okay.
And it was very different because normally when you do a regional championship, for example, say a championship in Asia or in India, the tracks are limited to only 1 track or maybe 2. So here, every other weekend you're on a new track. You're learning a new setup. You're learning a new course, nuances of that course.
Right.
So it was a very different experience, but that's where I think having your fundamentals in place really helps, because you just go back to that as to what lines, what types of corners, how do you gear for those types of corners. Like, it comes down to the basics and then just build from there. And the strange thing is, this championship doesn't have a practice session.
I was going to ask you, how do you get time on the bike at that track? How does that work?
So on Saturday we have Q1, Q2, and on Sunday we have the races. So
oh wow, so you're straight into qualifying.
Yep.
But now, year on year, does the track layout change, or is the same track layout?
The track layout is the same, but the track does change because it's a public road. So if you have a bus going on that road for a year, there's going to be some sort of change.
New patches, there's tarmac changes, so it's not a controlled environment as such. So the turns may be the same, but the surfaces are changing, and then I'm sure construction, development, things are happening. Your markers, like at the track, we're always picking up markers to focus on. Now, if you're in a public environment, those markers might also be changing.
If they don't change the posts of the speed limit and the stop sign, no. But usually it's markers like that.
Yeah, what markers are you picking up? So you're at the track. Take us through this, right? You're at 600RR. Where do you sleep first of all?
I sleep at the paddock in the truck.
Okay, so we start off there. So you wake up a little bit sore, a little bit groggy, right? And then you're on the bike, and then you have a new track in front of you.
Yep.
Take us through that process of like you now not only you get into Q1 first, qualifying one, right? So what's going on through your mind? How do you prep for doing this thing that you're about to do?
So obviously on the to the lead up to the races, we watch a lot of onboards.
Okay.
Try to pick up a lot of data as much as possible. But since this is a a road race, and you don't get a lot of footage available online, especially bike specific. So I might get footage of an R6, or I might get a footage of an S1000RR.
Right.
So it's really difficult to really kind of visualize what you need to do setup wise. But you at least know where the track is going, which kind of helps. So on the morning of on Saturday, wake up, do a routine, get on the bike, make sure the key things are checked off the bike. So you have fuel, you have your tire pressure, you have your warmers on, you check the brakes. So we do our brakes, so we check the pressure of the brake, the liquids on the brake reservoir. We also have to lock wire our bolts on the caliper so it doesn't come loose because it's really bumpy on the road circuit. And after that, on Q1, we just wing it. So I ride, I try to be well within my comfort zone.
Okay.
Because it's very easy on a real road course to overwhelm yourself because of the perception of speed. When you're on a track, it's open, the sensation of speed is not as high. But when you're on a road course and you have buildings half a foot away from you, things really speed up. So it's really important to go in with humility and just find your feet. It's all right to be second last to last in your first session, only because the depth of the field is massive. Like you have big hitters on the grid, and just being a part of it honestly is an honor. So Q1, no pressure, just understand where the track is going, just understand, make notes of bumps, curbs, markers, stuff like that. Come back down, write it all in a book, try to memorize it. And Q2 is when I start really, trying to start push to get a lap time. And
is there a Q1 to Q2 cutoff? So 30 riders start Q1, like do you cut off into Q2 or you all continue to Q2?
So Q1 and Q2 is open, but then post Q2, you got to be within the cutoff time of the first rider. And most usually the case, the rider who's first is the rider who's won the Isle of Mann TT or is a factory rider. So it's not easy to get into the grid, but...
And how many make it to the grid?
30.
So 30, and how many?
35.
And how many start in Q1, Q2?
Close to around 42, 43.
Oh wow, okay, so 40, okay, so a lot of people start Q1, Q2, and then you've got basically Q1 is practice session, kind of, right? It's the only chance you got. But now when you go back next year and the year after, that's when that comfort level will start building up, right? And then you can start focusing on pushing and more improvements on the motorcycle. So now you're in Q2, if you don't make the cut, what happens? Just sitting on the side watching everybody else race?
Yeah, and questioning your life's choices.
Yeah, exactly. You just get a beer at one of the local pubs in Europe and just watch the race, I guess, right? And when you do make it, then so Saturday, Sunday, when are we racing? Sunday?
So lucky for me, I made it on most races.
Yeah,
so
wonderful.
We were top 20, so that was a super achievement because coming from India where you don't know anything about the road circuit to being in the top 20 is...
Will you do Level road circuit? I'll make one. We'll shut down the Bangalore traffic police. We'll do Level Road, MG Road, Government Park, Residency Road circuit. Our roads are getting much better. We will say that. There are central Bangalore roads are getting better. Hyderabad is hosting a road race, right, for Formula cars. So we're a little bit far off from getting to bikes on road. So talk us to the race day. So you've already, now you've learned the track. Right, and when does race day happen? So Q2 finishes when does race day happen?
So Q1, Q2 is on Saturday and the race is on Sunday.
Okay.
And we have 2 races on Sunday. That's as per the IRRC calendar.
Yeah.
And they also have an open championship where, it's not tied to the IRRC. It's like a support race, but you can enter your bike as well.
Okay.
So at some circuits, I was doing 4 races in a day.
And I mean, just one race sounds like a lot. And how many laps per race, probably?
About 12 laps, 10 to 12
race
laps.
Length? Or like lap length?
Lap length would be anywhere between 4.5 kilometers to 5.5 kilometers.
And just to put that into context for our Indian riders, so MMRT is approximately, what, 3.5?
3.8.
3, I don't know if the guys in the 3.8, I think, around that,
3.8,
4. I'm sure the fact check will come over here. And both international being F1 grade, GP grade circuit is 5 plus. 5 kilometers plus, 5.1. So these are big laps.
Yeah.
This is not a go-karting track.
Nope.
They're not, so you're sending out there. Plus, you've got that added element of risk where the walls are half a foot in some case. There's traffic poles. There's all sorts of, what do we say on the track, right? It's not the fall that kills you, but the stop. Stopping hard is what damages the body. Yeah. And we keep setbacks on the racetracks and off-road. We've just got so much to let the body kind of roll and go. But in this case, you coming off the bike is quite a dangerous bit. I mean, I did see some photographs that you sent me. There are chicanes.
Yep.
There are where they can put hay. So what stops you? If you come off the bike, right, and everybody's watching for the juice of, people watch Isle of Mann for the jump and the wipeouts and all that. But if you do come off the bike, which happens, right? You have a road incident, you have a track incident. What can happen? What's the best case and let's not talk about worst case, but what's the best case that happens?
Honestly, given the speed, the best case would be something small, like a low side at a chicane. I mean, that's the best place that you could think of crashing.
Right.
But if it's at some of the higher speed section of the track, the best case would be going up and meeting God. Because if not, I mean, it's nasty, the incidents. Like, you wouldn't want to be a vegetable after a crash. That's the worst case.
Yep.
Like surviving but not being able to ride.
Yep.
And best case would be walking out of the crash, but road racing, that's very few and far between.
Right. So what happens is that the grid is also now tuned differently.
Yep.
Right. You know that there are certain risks in racing that you do take, and there are chances that you do take, and then in road racing there are different elements of risk, threshold of risk.
There's only risk.
Right. So everybody is kind of tuned into a different parameter. Yep. So now there are hay barriers in different places. So there are places where the organizers will give you a place where incidents of high frequency.
Yeah, maybe like a slight runoff, or they'll open out a corner, or they'll have some sort of tire barriers in some places. But at the speeds that we are carrying, it's not going to really help you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. This is racing at the end of the day, and you're on super sports and super bikes, and the speeds are track speeds.
Yeah.
Right? Like what kind of peak top speeds are you hitting on these?
250 plus.
250 plus kph, and corners are, sweeping right, sweeping left.
So most of the corners, unlike tracks, are fourth gear pinned, fifth gear pinned, over blind crests. Like the corner opens out, so it tightens in the beginning and then opens out.
Yeah,
so
you were showing me some of them, and it's like crazy to see a bike doing this with an onboard. See, Isle of Man being the level that it's at is so publicized.
Yep.
It's a production, and it's incredible to watch. But then seeing this as a feeder series to see what's actually happening, for these guys have done this their whole lives to get to that level.
Yep.
So seeing that from your perspective is just incredible. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about was, when I messaged you after one of the races, you told me you did have an incident.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through that a little bit?
Funnily enough, that was one of the good races.
Okay.
Because it was the first time I'm racing in rain.
Okay.
I've never raced in rain before, because normally over here when it rains, it's red flag.
Yeah.
You don't race because of safety. But over there, even though you're on a public road, they let you ride. So they're built different.
Do you change your tires?
Yes, we changed our tires. We had rain tires and they were super, super good. So much feel. Okay. I was quite surprised when I was riding with them, because I thought, okay, I've never ridden in rain. I'm going to be really slow. But turns out I actually adapted really quickly. I started 21 on the grid and I kind of moved my way up to 13th.
Okay.
Which nobody in the paddock saw coming. Even Laurent was like, okay, wow. That's good. You're trying and you're
a lot of
good.
places. Yeah.
And then last lap, trying to catch another rider, I got a little...
Last lap?
Yeah, last lap. It's the worst time to crash. But I'm just happy that I could push to that limit where I crashed. So at least that fear or that barrier is not there in my head. And there was a low side at the chicane. Relatively not so fast. It was about 90 kilometers an hour. Low sided, slid, and kind of boinked my head onto the tire wall.
Okay.
Got lightly concussed.
Yeah.
I knew everything that was happening around me, but the next day I was like a little baby. I needed to sleep, didn't feel like eating, kind of emotional.
Yeah.
And ever since that day, there's a ringing in my ear that's never really gone. So.
Right. So only when it'll change it is a championship position.
or another Boeing to
Or another one. Hopefully not on the racetrack. Yeah. So how was the bike after you were fine? You had a concussion and you dealt with that. Now you've bought this motorcycle. You know you're out in Europe kind of by yourself. Like you said, technicians they're there to help. You got to do the work yourself. So how do you deal with what happened to the motorcycle? How do you deal with the parts? Talk us through that.
Also, I forgot to mention the interesting incidents that led up to the race.
Okay, yeah. Tell us that.
So it's raining. They called us onto the grid. They called us back off, and then we're switching our tires. And
Who's switching the tires?
me, my friend, and Laura threw in a helping hand.
Yeah, so it's like must be
All hands on deck.
chaos, right? You change all the tires, and all three teammates are running around changing the tires. That's awesome. So then you get the tires changed, and then what happens?
And then, since I wanted to change my rear set, one of the bolts broke off.
Yeah,
And I kind of had to do like a quick fix
yeah,
with every track day and race weekend tool, which is zip ties and duct tape.
yeah.
So zip tied and duct tape my brake pedal to the main brace.
Yeah.
So I couldn't actuate my rear brake. And while loosening the front pinch bolts of the fork, we kind of broke two out of the four.
Oof.
But Laura just looked at me and said, "Hey, you have the main axle and two bolts. It's not going to come out."
Yes.
Okay, fine. Sure.
Yeah, you gotta go for it.
Gotta go for it.
Yeah.
And airbags are compulsory, so you have to wear airbags.
Great.
But they never really mentioned it should be working.
Airbag on the suit, not on the bike.
On the suit.
On the suit. And you didn't do an airbag test?
I forgot to charge it.
Oh, we're not gonna go through the brand names and all that, right? Let's just.
So like,
Okay,
I locked it on and the lights were not blinking. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be fun. My first road race
Right.
in the wet with no rear brake, pinch bolts broken off, and an airbag without charge.
And sleeping in the camper van all night.
Yeah,
And let's go racing.
let's go racing.
Man, that mental state, I mean, like people spend, we watch the F1 guys, Zen mode, headphones in,
I wish.
100 people to take care of everything, car is prepped, and then here you're in this condition.
Yeah.
So then that's how it started off.
Yeah.
But then you had an incredible race. You came in almost 7-8 positions
Yeah.
up. And what's the overtaking like?
So because we were starting from P21, which is kind of mid-pack, we were on the 8th row.
Okay.
No, 6th row.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm weak in math.
Yeah. Just remember one.
Yeah.
Your math stops at P1. Yeah.
So because you're so far back in the grid,
Right.
especially in the rain, there's just a spray.
Oh, yeah.
And whatever markers I knew went to oblivion.
You're kind of just sending it at that point, right?
At that point-
You're just kind of following the pack and just picking up.
The funny thing is like you kind of figure it out because
Yeah.
there's a long straight in Chimay after the first turn. It's about a 600-meter straight where your 6-gear pin and everyone's pinned at that point. And the spray that they kick up is like unbelievable. Like I could only just see white spray,
And
like a mist
600cc engine screaming,
screaming.
full open exhaust, just that.
Like I didn't even need to use a tear off because all the water is just like going over my visor.
Okay.
And you know when to brake is because when the spray starts reducing, because the spray is like 6.5 feet.
Oh my
And then when it comes to like 2.5 feet and you can see the tail light of the other guy, you're like, okay,
Now.
brake.
Oh my God.
And then you get a feel for it after the next few laps where everyone's braking and you kind
Okay.
of make your way through.
And then does it kind of clear? Was it raining actively while the race was
Yep.
on? Okay, so
There was
that's
like a steady
constant-
drizzle,
Constant drizzle. And
And
then-
also because it's a public road, like
Yeah.
near the curbs, so the difference between a track and a road is just the way it's constructed. So
Right.
like a track, you would always have it like super flat.
Yeah.
And you'd have very well drainage, like good drainage system
Correct.
side. But on a public road, it's
Yeah.
like this.
You're right.
Because they want the water
Water
to
to
run.
flow. You got gutters on the left side.
So normally you have water at the apex of the corners,
Right.
kind of stagnant.
yeah.
And since the track is not fully flat, like you got to choose your lines wisely, especially when it's in the wet. Because all of this is blind crest, there's a lot of elevation, so you got to be really technical with the way you approach it.
Yeah, and then kind of everybody, is in it together,
Yep.
right? So you're kind of putting a lot of trust with your co-riders as well, right?
Yeah.
Because you've seen the videos of one guy wiping out and taking out the whole pack, and that's can get a little nasty.
Yeah.
So that was the race. So these overtakes that you had, are you generally overtaking on straights and just having faster straight line speed, or is it mostly in corners? Like how in a race like that where you have so many position changes from P21 to P13, Tell us some of the overtakes.
I mean, most of the overtakes came through the start because I've always been someone who's strong with the lights, with the reaction. So I gained a couple of places there. But on the straight line, I mean, the other bikes are slightly more powerful. Honda's not known for all-out power.
Okay.
But that's where I could gain positions because the handling was so good. So these guys might be really fast on the straights, but I'd catch them on the brakes or on the entry of corners. And in the wet, I mean, the other bikes I could see were a little more twitchy or they were a little more nervous, whereas my bike was kind of the same. So it's very normal for me to like push even in the rain.
Right.
So it was really easy to ride, and most of the overtaking was corner entries and on the braking zones. So I'd catch them in the braking zones.
Oh, wonderful. So then you go offline for that?
Depending on the overtake, yes.
Okay.
But even when you go offline, like, it's not miles off.
Okay, I mean, you're talking about inches, right? Because you also, with the rain factor in it, you can't really go over standing water as easily because it's going to mess up the entire grip that you've got. So that must have been an exciting race. I mean, even though it ended up with a little bit of a low side. And then the bike, how was the bike after the crash?
After the crash, went back to the workshop. We bent the subframe. We needed to straighten that out. The rear sets were trashed. The clip-on was trashed. The fairing needed some love. And I mean, we got it fixed for the next round.
Anything can be fixed as long as you're, good spirit, good mind, good health. That's really good. And then you went on to how many more races after that incident?
2 more races. So we went to Czech Republic, which was the most difficult track of the calendar.
Tell us about that.
The track is called Horiche.
Okay.
It's pronounced Horiche, and it's in a small city in Czech Republic. And super old race, happening from ages. Very, very technical because the circuit is 5.1 kilometers long.
Wow.
With 29 turns and 90 meters of elevation.
Okay.
It goes down through the city and goes into the forest, and then it comes back around into the city.
Wow.
And that track was something else because 29 corners.
The whole thing, right? During Q1, like, you got to memorize the whole. I mean, do you know the whole track?
No.
Yeah. Okay. At least you're honest about that. Right? I mean, like. Because
I thought I knew because you watch onboards, but onboards don't do justice with the depth of vision that you need to have while you're on track.
Right.
Because on an onboard, you feel like, oh, okay, I can like not roll off there, and I can.
Incredible, just watching you guys fly through. I mean, beautiful landscape, and then you got the city views and all that. Before and after the race, how much are you actually getting to enjoy the city a little bit?
Not at all.
Your coach is zero. You're right. I mean, you're just there for one reason and one reason only. And then post race, what happens? So like, what happens post race? So podiums, that, everything.
That happens while the racing is going on, but mostly post race, all hands on deck to pack up, pack the tent back up all the equipment, help the team load the truck up.
Right.
And we are back on the highway.
Back on the highway. And then were you coming back to India between
No,
races?
I was staying there. The stint, yes.
Okay, good.
So lucky for me, I had a friend there. A childhood friend, actually. We shared the same dream of, owning superbikes.
Okay.
And he actually bought a Honda Fireblade when he graduated college in India.
Oh, wonderful.
That was his first superbike. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Out of college, straight Fireblade.
Straight Fireblade.
Skip everything else. That's really cool.
So then he understood this whole dream and vision, and he was on board, and he was kind enough to lend me his place. He let me stay with him, and he took care of me. Yeah,
that's really nice. I mean, that's that community factor, and having some. I mean, it would be pretty difficult. I mean, I know everybody in their mind is going through the cost numbers over here, buying the bike, flying over. So you fly over once, you stay for the season, staying at a friend's place. So of course, like as racing gets more international in India, more people like you go out there, more sponsors like us want to back guys like you who are doing something on an international stage on a Honda, which is our bread and butter business. It's just, I think it's going to get better and better and easier, especially now the feedback that you've gotten for the community. You're also a coach on motorcycle track days, right? You're affiliated with a few companies, and ISBK being the prominent one. Now that experience that you're going to bring to the Indian riding community, right? Just you and me on the track, and the feedback that you're going to be able to give people like us, that's just going to take it to the next level. Exactly. And the more people like you go out there and do these things, the better it is for the entire country in terms of motorsport. So thanks for doing that and giving us your knowledge and feedback. So just a couple of quick questions, right? Like, what is the one thing you want to do different for next year?
Finish higher up in the standings, because I'm already working on it. I had my training stint in Thailand last week.
Okay.
My riding has upped. Level has gone up. Now it was just about fine tuning things, because I was working with my coach and they were telling me it's not about riding anymore. It's more about the mentality and how well you can dial in a setup on race day.
Okay.
So those are things that I'll have to really actively work on, because
Right.
when I'm in Europe, I'm alone.
Yeah.
I don't have a mechanic, or I don't have someone with me just for my setup. So these are things that I'll work through the off season. And mentality wise, now that my road racing virginity is taken,
Yeah.
I am ready to give it my all.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, when you talk about the bike setup for next year, anything you'd want to do specifically on the bike that you'd change that you kind of did in this setup this year? Any technical bits that you're already considering?
Yes, so I'd like to change my suspensions.
Okay.
Because I'm not too well versed with the ones that are on the bike.
Okay.
And also they are the ones that are not race ready. So they are the stock Showa big piston forks that come with the bike.
Okay.
Which are perfect for track days and amateur riders. But now, since we're racing at a very high level, we need more tuning capabilities, which is why I need to upgrade that.
Yep.
Also, little things like rims. Like I'm still using the stock rims. I'd like to get onto forged aluminium rims. So helps me stop faster, helps me turn in easier. And just small gains like that, because not everything is about overall horsepower. Of course, horsepower makes a big difference because we're in a straight line most of the time. But there are other ways to also get performance out of motorcycles.
So that's nice. So what you picked up pretty much a stock race setup, but relatively, it's not $1 million race bike.
No,
right?
not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Right? It's a race bike used in race series before, but it has a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah.
So tell us why CBR600RR. And tell us a little bit about what other bikes are at the racetrack. So generally at these type of events, what are the other field of competition?
So the most common or the most used race bike is the R6.
Okay.
And other than the R6, now with the next gen regulations, we have the GSX-R 750.
Okay.
We have the Panigale V2. We have the Triumph 765. So there's a whole array of bikes.
Okay.
And sometimes it feels that it's not fair, because these bikes with bigger displacements have it so much more easy on the straights.
Right.
But hey, that's racing. And
that's racing, right?
Get on with it.
Yeah. And then when you were looking at bikes and you could have picked up old R6, you could have picked up, why CBR? You can tell us a little bit about that. And this was not a condition from our side. You told us, hey, we're riding a Honda internationally. Do you guys want to support? It's Honda, we're in. Right? That's our attitude. You're racing a Honda internationally, we're in. Right? And this was actually the second one that we did. One was a rider, Tane, who rode in Russia. Russia road racing. So you were our second rider that we backed internationally, riding a Honda. So why CBR? Why Honda?
Mainly because of the bike just being super easy to ride. Like I said, given the format of racing and how unknown it was to me, I'd like something familiar and something easy to ride, and something that I can get on with the job. So Honda was obviously the top pick. Second thing is the reliability. So to run a Honda, when it comes to high performance, it's a little bit more expensive, but the engine is quite bulletproof when done right. So that's something that kind of helps a privateer out. Given the tight budgets.
Because it's not about, it's like reliability doesn't mean low cost, right? We are always very clear on this. Like reliability means cost over time. And if you're running a bike that is just, service it once every, do you do it in like kilometers or hours? Like
we do it in kilometers.
In kilometers, right? Because off-road we do hours. So here's kilometers. So you do a major service, say every 5,000 race kilometers?
No.
Or less or more?
I wish.
Less? Way less?
Way less.
How much?
So this bike, now that we have cams and stuff done on the bike, it's kind of blown. Our bike is doing around 126 horsepower.
Okay.
And hopefully, through what we do with it this off season, next season it should be 130 plus.
130 plus. And how often do you service the bike? Like
1,500 kilometers.
So I think you should come to our service centers. our team will be very happy to take the labor billing for that, right? Every 1,500. So people are complaining about 10,000, 20,000 service. Wait till you own a race bike. Right? So 1,500 kilometers, and it's oil, gaskets,
rings,
everything, right? So, there's a thing like when you're racing a bike, you rebuild the engine every race. Like, you've heard this thing like rebuilding the engine, right, is these points, right? You're not really doing anything with the actual major metal components, right? In your case, you're doing mostly of all of the
internals.
Internals, right? And it's a full breakdown, cleanup, and then rebuild of the engine, right? And then if there's anything that's damaged, any issues or any upgrades, that happens once a season probably, right? Any upgrades happen once a season, and then servicing happens throughout the whole season.
So servicing also, like if this engine is built in the right way, because you have specialists in Europe.
Yeah.
So one of the guys who are working on my bike actually, he's like a really reputed tuner. And he told me that, look, you have like a really good bike, and you can get the most out of it. We just do the things the right way.
That's
it. Might cost you a bit, but in the long run, like you have everything that's there, and it's not going to cause you any trouble. So that's the way we approach it. And we rebuild the bike before the season, and through the season, usually we do not touch the engine.
Okay.
It just runs as is, because we are not running at that setup yet.
Yeah.
But some of the factory teams, they rebuild the bike once every 2 races, and those bikes are pushing out north of 145 horses.
And you're on the same grid.
Same grid.
Okay, so that's where the challenges of like position and trying to finish. So it is the bike, then it is your knowledge of the bike and how to tune it up to every circuit, and then riding it.
Also budget. You missed the main point.
Yeah. Well, we'll do what we can, of course, right? We always tell our clients, like, when you choose VFM, you choose Indian motorsport, right? You see, many people have known us in the market of like, we're at the racetracks, we're supporting our riders, we're in this business because we love two wheels. And that's what we do day in, day out. So if you choose VFM, you're choosing to support guys like Rushab. And the more we can do to support, we're always happy to contribute, right? So now the bike is in Europe, and it's parked up over there. And then when do you get back? When does the next season start?
Next season starts in June.
Okay.
There is a race in May, but there's a gap in between which doesn't really work out for me given my travel. But if I do get more backing and more sponsors on board, maybe I can also do that race as well.
So you are open to sponsorships. There are, you can reach out to our teams, and we'll happily connect you with Rushab. He's also got a public profile that you can reach out to him on. If you're somebody who is supporting Indian motorsport like us, jump on board. It's very thrilling for us as a sponsor. This race season happened months ago. We're doing this because we want to give back to the motorcycling community about this. We were chatting and we said, wait a second, let's not talk about this privately. Let's talk about this publicly, because it's so exciting. It's so interesting for us to hear. So it's not about, we're not selling bikes in Europe, right? We sell bikes in Bangalore. But the idea is it's just a really good way of spending our money, right? If there's some profit coming in, if we can give it to you and you can go do something, we never know how this is going to come back and help our business. And we're not really thinking about that. We're thinking about, hey, a call came in from a guy who wants to do something super interesting. We're in a position to support. It's on a Honda, which is a critical part, right? We love Honda. We want to represent brand Honda from India as much as we can. And that's kind of what it is. So for me, it's a great way of supporting guys like you who are doing something super interesting. So the stories that are being told are really, really interesting. And I think that our customer base of Honda riders in Bangalore are super passionate. I mean, from everything from Redwing to BigWing to CBU, BigWing bikes, like the guys are out there. We've done one ride every single month, which we were telling you about. And you're going to be leading one of our rides soon in the next year. So we have Rushab joining one of our BigWing rides where you can interact with him, talk to him. Don't try to race him on the road in Nilmanga flyover. But so we've been doing this for quite a long time in terms of rider engagement. And we always have people who are asking us, like, how do I watch MotoGP? How do I come to INMRC? I saw this Honda One Make thing going on. What is Asia Riding Cup? Because these things are online, but we want to bring it, being a dealer in two wheels is not just about selling and servicing. It's about the community. It's about riding. It's about the passion of the sport. Our internal joke is nobody needs a XL 750 to go to work, but it's a lot more fun going to work on a Transalp than it is going on another bike, right? So these are choices that we make to have fun on our way to work or on our weekend. So this is like the highest form. You've taken it to the highest level, which is racing and then road racing. So that's kind of our intention behind the whole sponsorship is to support as much as possible. And then going forward, we're looking forward to sponsoring you going forward and seeing you perform and hopefully interacting with our customers over here. We're going to have a Q&A session as well in person with Rushab. So we'll be letting you guys know all about that. Now, quick couple of things, right? Best moment of the season.
Best moment.
Single moment where the best.
It's so tricky.
Opening your eyes after the low side. Yeah.
Not too bad, that. But best moment would be probably racing in Horiche because that's one of the most technical circuits, and that's closest to what I taste of the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
So that was just something that that was a tester, and man, at first it was surprising to say the least because you're on a road which is like 7 meters wide,
Right.
going through a forest with blind crests and turns, and you're doing fourth, fifth gear full chat. The commitment needed is something else.
Yeah. You can't back off. That's not.
You can't back off. You can't back off because you need to be committed. If you're not committed, then
You got other problems.
yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not even going to be afraid to admit that I had a lot of fear, but it's very good to acknowledge that and rise above that, and ride with some courage, and develop a lot of character. So I would say it was that Horiche.
Yeah, and circuit that you are most looking forward to getting back to, or road race you're most looking forward to getting back to?
Probably Froberg, because that's a circuit that I had some experience
Where is
with
that?
from last year. Oh, that's next year in September
No, where is it?
in Germany.
Germany, okay.
But unfortunately, this year I couldn't race it because of some technical gremlins that we had with the bike.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to race that bike, that track.
That track. And then least looking forward to, which track kind of left you little bit, a little too scary, little too fast, little too slow, little too crowded? None? So ready to go all action. That's really good. Anything else you want to share with us?
Just the fact that this association really means a lot to me because I know you personally and we share the same passion for motorcycling, which is, I think, the most important thing because, we buy bikes to commute, like the general population buy bikes to commute, but at the end of the day, as a kid, you grow up, you always wanted to own some aspirational bike, and there's something tied towards it, which is to do with some sort of passion towards two-wheelers and motoring. So that way, I'm so happy that like-minded people are there in my corner. It's not something just done out of a business decision. It's based purely from the form of love for the sport and love for motorcycling, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I tell everyone in Europe as well, that India is one of the largest two-wheeler markets in the world. But it's really a shame that we don't have enough inspirational people pushing the envelope of motorcycling. And I'd like to change that in my own little way by doing something like road racing, which is super risky, but somebody got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
That's kind of what we say, right? Somebody's got to build it.
Yeah.
We end up building a lot of stores we've built in the last 5 years. And because it's just, like you said, it's a love for two wheels. And it's like, if you're going to ride something like a Honda. Ride something that's inspiring, that's fun. We've got a huge lineup of motorcycles. Now, if somebody wants to get a taste of the racetrack, tell us a little bit. You're a coach at track days here. Just take a little bit about what an Indian track day looks like, what L1, L2 is, just a little bit about how somebody can get a taste of it and they can come on any bike, right? So let us know a little bit about that.
Honestly, I feel track days are the best opportunity for you to test your machine, test your skills, and just enjoy the motorcycle, because on our roads, it's really difficult given the conditions. Plus, there's always this thing where, okay, it's not the most controlled environment. So you might have a dog, you might have someone crossing the road, you might have a guy who doesn't even know how to switch lanes, who's in front of you and can cause something catastrophic. So that way, the track is the best place. And in India, it's really accessible because you have tracks in the south, you have tracks in the north, you have different academies that have these sessions. And I feel it's the right way to get into, learning the skill of motorcycling, because there's so many things that we do on a day-to-day basis, which is actually not really good in terms of habits. We have bad habits while riding. So it's always good to unlearn and learn the correct way of doing things. And I recommend everyone to at least experience the track once, who love motorcycling, who love going fast.
Do you need a 1000cc bike to go to the racetrack? No. Right?
No.
Exactly. You do not need a 1000cc bike. You can bring your CB300R, bring a CB300, you can bring your Unicorn if you have to bring it, you can bring SP160.
Probably have more fun on the smaller bikes because it's not going to intimidate you. It's easier to reach, the limits of these bikes. And in case you do have a crash, which is quite normal on the track and quite safe, it's normal, it's not that expensive. So a smaller bike to begin with, learn the art, learn the skill, and then upgrade to bigger bikes.
Yep, and internationally, you've traveled and raced in many places around the world, and you've seen this also from your colleagues' eyes. Like a lot of them started on 100cc bikes, 160cc bikes. There's actually a better way to get into this, to actually know like what you like. So even if you've got a 1000cc parked at home and you're afraid what's going to happen if I crash it, okay, get your Unicorn, get your SP160, get a Hornet, right? And you can get pretty much any motorcycle, even if it's a Rebel 500, which is now in the market. You may scrap a little pegs here and there, right? But it's an environment where you'll truly understand the potential of the machine.
Definitely.
I mean, quite simply, you can open the throttle all the way through the straight and not worry that someone's going to cross the road.
Exactly.
That feeling, when we say the word track day, racetrack, it's a little intimidating. Especially when you have family, going to the racetrack, right? Like, oh my God, this guy's going to be, road racing, elbow down, knee down, crashing, high side. It's very not dramatic when you're at the racetrack. It's a lot of like-minded people who simply want to experience engineering, and these beautiful machines that have been made, engineered across the world, delivered in India, serviced by people like us. We've got technicians on site, we've got instructors on site, we've got classroom sessions. It's not like we're just going to throw you out there and make you do 300 kph. This is a very structured program, and safety is a paramount. People wouldn't come back, and we're in it. We have nothing to do with this, right? We have gained nothing from another 100 riders coming to the racetrack. But the joy that a new or younger rider or older rider who's never had the peace of just riding without worrying.
Exactly.
It's one way. No one's coming the other side. It's a way that you can just ride in peace, and you can work with a trainer like you, which is what I've done, just to test out bikes. Like, hey, I want to feel like how this bike feels in corners. I'm just going to take it easy on the front straight. Don't really need to see the top speed of this bike. I want to understand the braking performance. There are drills for all these things, right? And even if you don't keep coming back to the racetrack, that's fine. It's just even if you do a one-time investment in your training, you'll just become a safer and better rider on the road, right? You will understand what a full front braking session feels like, what the rear brake does for you, how to put the bike in a quick stop, how to quickly change direction. These are things that are directly applicable to Indian roads.
100%.
Especially when Indian roads are a little bit unpredictable sometimes, especially at highway speeds. Even at 80 kph, things happen really fast. So you can come to a track session with a guy like you and the teams like who we worked with, track day providers all across India, and they're all wonderful people to work with. That'll give you that little bit of confidence on your next highway ride.
Exactly.
So we're always trying to push people to come by. We also have events like Honda track day events that we did at Aruani Grid on the CB300F, where Honda factory bikes were used and not charged to clients either. Come by to these events. So as a dealership and as manufacturers at the OEM level of Honda, there's a lot of support. Just come by your local dealership, hopefully a VFM dealership, and then our team will sort you out. We've got off-road events, we've got on-track events, we will ride every month. And the more people are interested in this, the more people like Rushab, who are going on this international stage, representing the country, get that platform. So the more we do, the better it is. And at the end of the day, it's all about having fun.
It's all about having fun and just enjoying your machine. Because once you come to the racetrack, you understand, the dynamics of it. You understand the physics behind it. And you just appreciate this piece of motorcycle, this engineering that is there in front of you. And you learn on smaller things like even motorcycle maintenance. You take for granted when you're not on the racetrack, but when you're on the racetrack, you realize, okay, if I clean my chain, there is a few dents in that.
Correct.
And that sort of mentality helps you then, appreciate your bike more and have a better experience of owning it.
Yeah, and there's a couple of myths that are like, do I need to buy a one-piece suit? You don't need to buy a suit. There are suits for rent. If you book early enough, there's boots for rent, there's suits for rent. Your road gloves with the gauntlet will work as well. Helmets need to have a D-ring, but most of your helmets already have a D-ring. So, it's very approachable in India, and the more that we are seeing internationally, we are told how approachable it is by the international community. They end up telling us, like, you've got how many racetracks around Bangalore? You can just, we tell them our shipping cost to BIC, which is expensive in the Indian context. But when you go to the US context, where the race, we're paying very little comparatively speaking, because the distances are huge. The distances in Europe are massive, but Bangalore, Delhi actually isn't that far. Bangalore, Chennai, not at all. One of the biggest highlights for us at the Chennai track are the Mumbai gang who show up. There's like 40 of them, 3 trucks booked. Their passion, they don't have a track there yet, but they make it all the way out to Chennai because, relatively speaking, it is better price. And at the very worst case, we have smaller go-kart tracks around Bangalore where there are regular events, right? Where you can go to a place like Velocity or Aruani, you can sign up for sessions, and just reach out to us. I know this is a lot of information around track day riding, so reach out to us. Our team is there to support you. So Rushab, anything else from your side?
Nothing else, honestly.
Yeah, well,
Glad to be here. Glad to be associated with gentlemen like you who share the same passion. And onwards and upwards. I hope next season is going to be better. I'm going to do my best to, push up the ante, and let's see where it goes.
wonderful, man. Cheers. Take care.